Hi, my name's Kyle, and I love science. I've got some questions about science today, and I've brought in my friend Alex the astronaut.
Hey there, Kyle.
Hey Alex, my friends say that things weigh less on the moon, but the moon doesn't have gravity, like the Earth does it?
Actually, the moon does have gravity. Otherwise, the first moonwalk would have gone a lot differently.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for
But the moon's gravity works differently to how we experience gravity here on Earth. Although we can't see gravity, we can see its effects, like when you drop that basketball. And that helps us understand that gravity is a natural force that attracts objects to each other.
So gravity is like magnetism?
Ow! No, not quite. Both those forces can attract things, but they're very different. Now, some people think only the Earth has gravity, but actually all objects have a gravitational attraction. Even you.
But how come my gravity doesn't pull things towards me like the Earth does?
Well, the more matter an object has inside it, or mass, the greater the gravitational attraction it has. People are very, very, very small, so our gravitational attraction is very, very, very weak when compared to a planet like Earth. But the moon is so big that, like Earth, its mass is large enough that its gravity is noticeable.
Ah, that makes much more sense now. But how does the moon have gravity if there is no atmosphere?
That's because gravity and atmosphere are two separate things.
Ah, okay. But wait a second. How come you astronauts can bounce so high on the moon if there's gravity?
Remember, the more matter inside an object, or the more mass the object has, the greater the gravitational attraction. The moon is much smaller than the Earth, so the force of the moon's gravity is much less, roughly 1/6 the strength. This means we astronauts weigh much less on the moon than we do on Earth, because there's less force pulling us towards the moon's center.
So if you weigh less on the moon, does this mean you get skinnier?
Some people confuse mass and weight, but in science it's important to recognize the difference. Mass is a measure of how much matter an object has. Weight is a measure of an object's mass when the force of gravity is acting upon it.
Oh, so my basketball has the same mass on Earth, on the moon, or in a space station. But the basketball's weight is different depending on the gravity acting upon its mass. On Earth it weighs more than it does on the moon because the moon's gravity is weaker.
Exactly. Your mass wouldn't change if you went to the moon, but you would be able to bounce much higher because you would weigh less.
So that would make it easier to dunk?
Oh yeah! Boom shakalaka! Nothing but net. That's what I call a space jam. You know, like that movie, Michael Jordan, Bugs Bunny, Space Jam.